very, very excited to be here today. And as mentioned, the topic today is riding the KBTG roller coaster. But more than a roller coaster, there's multiple rides that I'm going to take you through today. Think about transformation in KBTG as a big theme park, right, with lots of different rides. So I'm going to take you through what we've done in the last 1.5 years, what we're planning to do in the next 3 years, and then beyond. So before doing any, you guys heard, right? Digital transformation often fail. I think stats said 78% of digital transformation fail. I've done transformation for the last 10 years. Originally, I was in London for 22 years working for Credit Suisse, one of the largest investment banks in the world. I was also leading transformation there as well. And I can say that I'm not any better than anybody who's led transformation before, Agile, DevOps, or whatever. But from experience, I can tell you that the only reason why transformation fail, well, I guess 2 reasons why transformation fail is, first, you didn't have the vision. You don't know why you want to transform, you just go ahead and like the boss has said, do Agile, do DevOps, transform everything, right? And then you jumped in and then apply save and less and blah, 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 and then it didn't work, so it failed. Second reason why I think transformation failed is, okay, you have a vision. Your company, you want to increase productivity, revenue, market share, blah, blah. And you go in with heart full of hopes, lots of energy, but it's hard. Transformation is hard. It's hard on the technical side, but it's harder on changing people in the organization, especially large organizations like KBTG and Credit Suisse is larger. So the second reason, in my opinion, why transformation failed is people just gave up. You know, they lost the drive. It wasn't fun, and they gave up. So it failed because they gave up. So now, back to the first reason why I've never run a failed transformation. Touch wood, where's the wood? And I've done a lot, and why KBTG transformation will not fail, right? And it will keep getting better and better because we have big vision. The previous speaker, I was really impressed about his vision and mission to change Bangkok for the better, to get people from the ground up to be involved in continuous improvement of our country. KBTG, and this is the reason why I actually moved back from London after 22 years in London, moved back to my hometown in Thailand, because KBTG vision is bigger than just a big bank trying to make money, right? Our vision is to be one of the top tech organizations in Southeast Asia, but actually, I think we're aiming for the world. But why, right? We just don't want to be a top tech organization just for the sake of it, because we are responsible to providing technology and innovation to empower every customer. And I'm not just talking about rich customer, big organization, I'm talking about the people selling fruit on the market stall. We have products that help people getting small loans so they don't have to go and get a loan shark to provide them a loan, and then that situation gets worse. This is the vision of KBTG, and this is the vision that's bigger than being a bank, that's bigger than myself, and this is why I'm here in KBTG and trying to make it happen. So we have a vision, right? So now, as any transformation, we have a plan, and transformation is not done in a day. So our transformation program is currently about 5 years. long, and we started, I think, end of 2020, beginning of 2021. So we about almost 2 years old now, the transformation program. And with any change, I don't know if you guys heard about change comparing to riding a roller coaster. You know, I'm not talking about digital change, I'm not talking about organization change, I'm talking about any change like you want to lose weight, if you want to, I don't know, get a girlfriend, right? In the beginning, it's compared to riding a roller coaster. So in the beginning, it's normally scary, and then you kind of like, oh shit, where am I going? And then as time goes by, you kind of think, okay, this is not worth it, and your motivation drop. And then when you kind of see the end, you kind of think, okay, this might work, and then at the end, you kind of become happy, right? That's why we compare actually the whole of KBTG transformation in the big picture as a roller coaster ride for everybody in the organization, and individual things that we want to do to the team level and to the organization level as a roller coaster. And my job, and my team's job, we have to call transformation team, and I'll tell you about it in a bit, is to build this ride, make it scary, because if it's not scary, then it's not worth it, and you're not making the big change that you want to do, but also make it fun as well. So when people go up one roller coaster, they'll come back and queue to go up on another one. So that's our job. And here I've summarized, I think this is going to be a 5-year journey in KBTG transformation for us, right? In 3 stages, and I use the word agile here, for real. And I'm not talking about less or save or whatever, right? I'm talking about agility. So the first phase in our transformation, which we pretty much there, in January, we're gonna kind of reach the stage where we can say our team is pretty much agile. So that's the team agility built in. Using agile, using DevOps, using all the great tools in the market, and also in the process, getting people to be comfortable with change so that they can get prepared for the next stage, which we're starting right now, actually planning now. So once we have team agility, we'll take, you guys probably, if you're agile coach or scrum master, you probably get this a lot, right? Okay, my team's doing scrum, the business saying, don't feel it. What's it for? Don't care, dev is doing stand up and all that kind of stuff, but business don't feel the benefit. So that's why the second stage in KBTG transformation is to take that building block that we've been building with the team for the last 2 years, put it together, and now we're going to make the business feel the benefit. So we call it business agility. And then the last stage is actually not leaving to the last, like in this picture, all right, but I have to just draw it this way. The last stage is brain agility. And this is about sustainability, because transformation doesn't end when the project ends. KBTG has to change with Thailand, with Southeast Asia, with the need of our customer, and we want to now go and compete in the global market as well. So we need to prepare our brain individually and connecting all the brain in our organization so that we are prepared for the next step in our journey. But we don't do it at the end. We're actually going to build it in from day one from here. So I'll take you through all these 3 stages, right? So starting from team agility, this is what's done already, pretty much. I think by January, end of January, February, we'll have the result to confirm this, right? But we pretty much there. Just a few team that we have to kind of get transformed. So, like I said, right? Anything start with asking yourself why you want to do transformation. And for the case of KBTG in 2020, we want team agility because we had a mission to reduce the production incident of our system by 30%. And to do that, on top of the increasing of our customer, digital banking customer base of 20% year on year, right? So we're doing really well. We didn't do transformation because we were in trouble. We're doing really well as a bank, as a digital bank. K Plus is one of the top digital platform in Thailand, and actually our downtime this year was, we had one downtime and it was resolved under 1 hour. So we were doing pretty good, right? But we want to do better because we know we are expanding. So we want to reduce the production incident by 30%. Secondly, we want to, we talked to, when we did transformation, we talked to a lot of people on all levels. We talked to the business, we talked to the developer, and we listened to them and we asked them, what is stopping you from doing your job better, faster? What's keeping you awake at night? What's stopping you from being able to enjoy a weekend with your family? We don't want our developer to work 7 hours, 7 days a week, right? We want them to have a life so they're happy. And what I said before, have great agility, right? So we realized that there's a lot of manual process in KBTG back then because we were, we quite, well, KBTG's support K-Bank, and K-Bank is a traditional, very old bank, right? So there's a legacy of a lot of manual processes. So that's why our mission is to get rid of those manual processes, to basically get rid of the wait time and waste time so that the developer and the team can really focus on building a better application, supporting better application, and go and do some dreaming with building new application. That's not bad yet. The third mission that we have is to speed up time to market. We have quite ambitious customer, right? Our main customer is K-Bank, so they want to build a lot of things to help the people in Thailand also to compete, right? Because we need to make money. But we also, in KBTG, we are quite unique. We're not just IT for a bank. We also in ourselves a IT fintech company. So we have KX and Cubics that are building the NFT and blockchain platform. We have K-Lab that now continue to reimagine what banking and actually non-banking mobile applications should be and build those applications as well. So we need to be able to support, we need our infrastructure and the pipeline, the people to be able to support putting more and more applications to the market faster. In the last 2 years, we had added 25% new application to our portfolio, which is about 500 applications today. And then the last mission is to, we still largely run our delivery pipeline as a project, right? We're moving towards product, but there's a lot of legacy, so we still do have a lot of projects. So our mission is to make sure the bank's happy, so we want to make sure we promise them that we'll deliver all of the project and all of the change on time, at least 80% of the project, right? And this will lead to the next section, right? So if you look at the result, right, 2 years on, we have reduced our production incident. I said the target was 30%, so we reduced that by 60%. So yeah, we were doing something right? But that wasn't enough because when I talked to the infrastructure team, the people in the war room, the application team, it's still quite a lot of effort to keep that system that stable, right? So we want to do better. We want to keep that stack, but we want to do it with less effort and more automation. We have reduced and removed the manual processes by way of automation. Nothing fancy. We want to build CI/CD pipelines so people can build, deploy, test, and release production automatically with low friction pipeline and as little handoff as possible. So we kind of manage that. I'm still not happy yet, but I'll tell you what we want to do more in the next slide. But all in all, we've removed the manual processes, and we've done quite a good benchmark before and after. So we can say that we've gotten rid of waste and wait time as a result of our 2 years transformation, equivalent to 40,000 man-day saving, right? And I think I kind of translated that from my chairman the other day, and that was worth about 335 million baht, right? So that's why you see this graph here. We have broken even the amount of budget that we asked the bank to use for doing transformation. Originally, we promised them that we're going to break even in 2023, but we've already done that a year early. So that was good news. So then employee, right? We need to make sure our employees are happy. So we do a lot of survey. Kun A here, our head of Agile coach do a lot of survey and to see, okay, we introduce this Agile, we introduce all this automation, are our people happier? We see the result of the business, but we want to know if our people are happier. And 89% of them say yes, right? So we're doing something right, but room for improvement, always. And for the last one, our project, we have delivered our project this year with about 70% rate of project delivered on time and budget. So we're not quite there yet, and I'll tell you why. Because this first stage of transformation, we're focusing on the team, right? So that's why I call it team agility. It's not yet impacting the business yet in the way that we want it to be. So this is the mission and the result. Before I move on to the business agility, I want to kind of give you a little bit of a lesson learned, I guess, of what we've done, how we got the result that we've gotten that I've just shown you in the previous slide, right? We call it a secret sauce. And for myself, having a reference, working in transformation in a bigger bank than KBTG for a long time, these are the things that we've done differently in KBTG to make sure that our transformation is successful. So first, as I already said, right, ask yourself why you want to do transformation. If you get called by a customer, if you're a consultant, right, you get called by a customer and said, please help us implement Agile. Ask them why do they want to do Agile. Ask them, and if they said, oh, we want to go faster, ask them why again, right? I think the theory goes that you have to ask 7 why before you get to the, to the actual kind of mission and vision, right? So keep asking why and make sure that you get to the point where if it's your own organization, you can come up with the mission that yourself and your people are excited about and can stand behind. Otherwise, your transformation is not gonna fly, right? If you are going in as a consultant to do Agile transformation or whatever transformation, right? Try this way, right? I work with a lot of consultancy, and I like the one I like best is the one that asks me why so much that I feel like they want to kind of make sure that I needed them, right? So don't go in and try to kind of stop at the first why, right? Ask them why, and then if you actually get that project, then they will definitely need you, right? So you're gonna be more successful that way. Second thing we've done in KBTG is, and a lot of organization either didn't do a lot of organization, especially bank, that's not IT organization, didn't do this, maybe because they didn't really believe that they need to do it, or they think IT is just a cost center, so let's not invest on anything for more than new features or building a new app, right? But transformation can give you sustainable growth and profit, if you do it right. So in KBTG, we didn't do transformation as a side project. We actually put together a small team, and not just any team. We actually pull out from the delivery team. I think the original was 10 people, 10 of the best, right? 10 of the best people. The best agile coach, the best developer, the best DevOps person, and then we put them together. We said to them, don't deliver any more work. You're gonna be the core team. You're gonna just have the job to think about how to multiply yourself, put all of the best practices and tooling together for the rest of the 2,000 people in the organization. So we've done that deliberately. And that team is still there and expanding. So I think that's one of the differentiations that I've seen here in KBTG. Then we want to, at all costs, avoid silo. I think you guys heard it so many times, right? Silo kill flow from work from the left to the right. So we have to avoid silo, but a practical thing, one practical thing that we've done in KBTG Transformation to avoid the silo is we eat our own dog food, right? So our transformation core team all work together in one department, right? A lot of companies might have agile department, DevOps department, technical architect department, enterprise architect department, test automation department, and they all in their own silo and come together in a virtual team and trying to stitch everything together. It's hard. Just put them together. So that's why in KBTG, we have in one department, Agile, DevOps, test automation, which is actually part of DevOps. We have technical architect looking at tools, technologies, and best practices. We have process engineers within the team as well. Is that it? Fine, yes. Yeah, so no silo, and they all work together hand in hand. Oh, the last one, empathy listening. So when you ask why, you make sure you listen and really listen, right? A lot of people ask, but they don't listen, especially when you're on Zoom or whatever chat tech you do, right? You ask and people just talk, you don't listen, you do your email and stuff like that, right? You ask and you listen, and you listen and you listen, and empathy listening. You don't provide any solution, don't think about solution, just ask and listen to everyone in your organization as much as possible. We do this on all levels in KBTG, even our chairman, Ting, he does empathy listening with every employee. So I think he done 1,000 this year. So we listen to everybody, and send me a lot of things to fix, right? Maybe I use that app, Fondue. I'll give him that app. So these are the things that we've done to, I think, got us the result that we that showed you before. So we have, by the end of this year, in January, 200 of our top application or mission critical application. We have basic agile, we have basic CI/CD pipeline. They will no longer be doing, manual build, deploy, and in some extent testing anymore. So moving on, right? So what next after we have team agility? Our business still not happy, right? I actually presented the result of the last page, right? Going to them and say, here's our, result. We asked you for this amount of money. We promised to break even in 2023. We already broke even, yay, right? And they were like, no, we still don't feel it. The project is still not delivered on time, on budget. The 20% is 30% is missing, right? 70% is delivered on time, on budget. And you know what? We don't really feel that thing about Agile and DevOps. We don't feel it yet, right? So, and the reason, actually before I go to the reason, I'll then talk about the mission of our next stage of transformation, right? How do we make the business happy? How do we make the business feel that they have business agility? So that's our mission. So broken that down into kind of 4 things. Well, in the last slide we said we promised 80% project on time, on budget, right? So we actually gonna look at moving project to product. So we think if we do that right, we will just go with the 100%. So 70% is not kind of exciting enough, right? So that's our mission for the next 3 years. Another mission we have, and this is driven by the growth of KBTG, we are currently expanding quite fast to a lot of countries in Southeast Asia. We started in Thailand, then we went to China. We have a branch in Laos. We recently opened Vietnam, and most recently we acquired a bank in Indonesia. And by 2025, target is to have KBank and KBTG footprint in at least 7 countries in Southeast Asia, and that means a lot more people. We're gonna double our developer footprint, so we're hiring a lot. And if you're interested in joining, we have a booth outside as well. So that's our next mission. And we want to grow our digital customer base by 5-fold, right? Right now we have about, I think, 20 million users on KBank and some of our digital application. By 2025, we want to increase that to 100 million users. Lastly, we want to become top tech company in Southeast Asia and one of the top 100 best employer in the world. So that's our mission for giving the business the agility that we think they need, right? So we are shifting our target then from before, focusing on team agility. You can see, can't remember what I put in the last slide, but for the next 3 years, we're going to add more business-oriented OKR or target to our transformation program. If you guys are familiar with DORA, I didn't come up with this myself, so this is actually from DORA, Google 4 Keys. So our new OKR is to be able to provide a business lead time to change in under 1 hour. To make sure the change failure rate is below 15%. To provide on-demand deployment on all environment, test or production, no downtime on-demand deployment. And lastly, time to restore service in under an hour. Some of these we already achieved in, for example, what IKK Plus only went down 1 time this year and it took us less than an hour to recover. But that's not our only app. We have 500 apps and we want this as a norm for all of our 500 apps and growing, right? So that's our mission and target for the next 3 years. to kind of give you a sense of where we are. Number 4, zero touch DevOps pipeline with scale agile, whatever methodology we're going to choose to use. Actually, we might mix a bit of less and save and flight level together. So that's when we achieve business agility with all of those OKR for all of our application, right? Right now we about here because we just have team agility. So the next kind of 2.5 years, this is our work that we have to do to get from that to that. So if we go to the next slide, the plan to achieve business agility. Am I running out of time? Let me know as well. Plan to achieve business agility. You want to compare with the best. I already told you we're going to use Google for key, so that's best in the world. So we compare with the best so that we can be the best and then beat the best. We're going to finish building state-of-the-art CI/CD pipeline because we think Agile and DevOps go hand in hand. You can't move that cart quick if your pipeline is manual, right? So we need state-of-the-art CI/CD pipeline. We're going to make data, and when I say data, I talk about infrastructure, pipeline, application, project, and user data accessible in a meaningful way to everybody in the organization. Because if we're going faster and we want to maintain stability, everybody needs to see what they need to see. And then lastly, we want to multiply the change agent. I told you we started with core team of 10. Right now we have 100 of people who we call change agent that's on the mission with us to change everything, to ask a lot of questions, to doubt everything, to not be happy with status quo and help us change the organization for the better. So we're going to continue to multiply that pool of people from 10 to now 100 and pretty much the whole organization. So that's the plan in a nutshell. Next one, please. And I just want to kind of shake things up a little bit because I think Agile conference talk a lot about post-it notes and what's it called, board, right? But for me, Agile is not going to be successful without a DevOps pipeline. So we are focused also in parallel with building the Agile mindset, Agile methodology, Agile team. We also, like I said, going to finish building state-of-the-art pipeline, the CI/CD pipeline. And for some of you, I think all of you probably know what CI/CD is, but in a nutshell, is the software delivery pipeline that take idea from the business to production and start making money or creating benefit. And it goes through a lot of stages, right? Discovery planning, source control, unit test, code scan, build, security scan, packaging, deploy, testing and monitoring, right? All these stages has now been largely automated in KBTG. What we're going to do in the next 2 years is put them together so that we have one-click production-like environment for all developer. And when I said production-like, I mean full set of data for all developer as well as computational infrastructure for all developer and tester. So they don't have to wait until SIT or UAT to do that testing. And they can test every day. Second thing we want to do is fully automate testing. Fully automated testing, because we still have, if you look at this pipeline, right, the biggest gap we still have is testing automation. It's a lot of work to be done there, so we're going to focus on that in the next 2 years. But we're not going to just automate testing for a developer. We want to make sure our goal is actually when we have automated testing and a good CI/CD pipeline, we're going to want all of our app to be given an ability to do A/B testing as a norm, right? So that they can actually, now the business can feel the benefit of Agile and DevOps because they can actually make business decisions based on all this stuff, right? Number 3, frictionless deployment pipeline for on demand, no downtime, and to be able to provide things like canary deployment, again, to facilitate business decisions. So you can deploy something in one location in Vietnam, maybe another thing in Thailand, and see what works and what doesn't. Number 4, everything as code, right? And you've probably heard that a lot, everything as code, infrastructure as code, everything as code. But what we want to do also is build into the pipeline control and policy as code. So we don't have to have a governance to come and follow our developer and project manager and do the tick box checking of how well we built our application. So we're going to build that in also to that pipeline. And last but not least, I said already, right? We want to provide meaningful data on all levels to everybody. So that's end-to-end observability from infrastructure to application, the pipeline, and also the user as well. So that's our job for the next kind of 2 years. And we're not doing this alone, right? We're getting friends to come on this journey with us. We're working with Thoughtworks, Google, and AWS on this journey, and a lot of vendor to add to our existing tool chain. You know, if you guys have any ideas, you think your tools are going to help us, you know, come and talk to us. So, last one. This hopefully is quick, right? Okay, I have 5 minutes. So last one, right? So what's after that, right? What's after? We have team agility. Team agility, if you think about it, is to really get us to be productive in what the business wants us to do for KBTG to deliver a good quality software. So to me, that's a known, right? So team agility is built so that when the business have given us a requirement, we know what it is, and then we can build that faster and with a good quality. So team agility is to solve the known problem. Business agility is to get ready because the business might want to change direction and build different things. So business agility for me is to be ready for the known unknown, because we know we have to serve our business, we just don't know what they need yet, so we need that agility. Now, last one, right? We live in a very, very exciting time. Things change every day. Tools, customer needs, weather, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. So, last mission is to make sure that KBTG stay one step ahead. And we believe to do that, we must reward curiosity and encourage our people, every employee in KBTG, to be a courageous explorer. Because once they're there, right, they can actually go out, explore, and not only find the unknown, but actually conquering them as well. I think this is going to be quite a game changer for IT and especially banking world. So the goal, to achieve that mission, our goal is to be top tech company in Southeast Asia and top 100 best employers in the world. And within that sentence, it's not just an award or a trophy that we're aiming to get. We're actually going to make sure that all of our employees actually feel that way and actually go out and tell their friends that come and work here because, you know, this is a really cool place to work. And we believe why we set that goal is because we believe that happy people are happy explorer, right? And happy people, they'll just do what they're told, and we don't want that. That's why we want to be the happiest workplace in Southeast Asia as well, sorry. And then continuous learning organization. So to be able to go out and search and conquer the unknown, we have to keep on learning and learning. So we want to make sure that our organization is doing that. and on all level. Our chairman actually went to study Agile with Hendrik, I think a month ago. So we're doing that on all level, and we keep learning and we keep improving our knowledge and skill. So I've done a little social experiment. This is a real data in KBTG. I just want to know where people are 2 years down the line in our transformation roller coaster journey, right? I was actually expecting a lot of people to go here, from original shock when people come and say you have to automate this and do that. They feel a bit angry. After 2 years, they get a bit bored and it's like, oh, this stuff doesn't work, let's just leave me alone. And hopefully they see the result, they accept it on board, and then they hope and want more, and then they come back. But this is a real data from KBTG, and that's kind of, to my pleasant surprise, nobody, right, 0% of the people think transformation sucks. And a lot of people think, they are onboarded, they have hope, they want to do more transformation. A few people here are still afraid, of course, you can't get rid of this, but we'll work with them on that. So the last slide, the strategy. So for brain agility to happen, the strategy is not technical. It's not CI/CD, it's not SAFe, it's not any agile methodology, right? It's about, after you ask why 7 times, right? Ask why 7 times, then you ask what if as well, right? So be curious, don't just do what your boss said, don't just do what your customer asked you to do. Ask why 7 times, and you say what if, right? Then you also incentivize change and discourage lack mindset. Lack mindset means in an organization, a lot of people think that if the other team succeed, then I don't have a chance for promotion. But in a company like KBTG, we have so much opportunity, but we're still going to be focusing on making sure everyone knows that they can succeed, because IT organization is just made of people, right? If everybody is successful, then the organization will be successful. We gotta continue to grow a strong and connected center of excellence. So we have core team already. I told you we're gonna expand that core team to help us work on different areas of transformation. But we need to make sure if they're not in the same department, they stay connected, because you can't just do transformation with Agile, DevOps, or one of those things. So they all have to stay connected. And again, learning and also unlearning has to be in the DNA of everybody in our organization. And there's no formula, right? You just have to do it, and everyone does it. The chairman go study every month. We study new things, and all of my team also go and do a lot of learning. And yeah, we quite a bunch of happy nerds that would love to learn new things. So if you have anything new that you want to share with us, get in touch. So that's wrap up. Yeah. So wrap up my a little bit too long presentation, but yeah. So to sum everything up, KBTG have a big vision. We want to be the best, but the way we do that, I think, is actually look inside in the individual employee and make sure every day you beat your best, and then you'll then be able to beat the best. Thank you. This is a bit of a recruitment scheme. So if you want to join us, QR code is up there.
Thank you, Pichi, for sharing the experience of transformation. And now is the time for Q&A. If you have any question or you want to talk to PTG, please raise your hand. Anyone? Yeah.
First of all, congratulations. Very impressive. I came a bit late, so I'm sorry, but what is your background and where did you get the inspiration to plan this? And the second question is how do you manage the transformation? I mean, operationally speaking, you have a backlog, a transformation backlog, you have an area, transformation backlog. Share that.
So my background, I'm a trained electrical engineer, and I started off in Credit Suisse as a Java developer. And my code wasn't very pretty. My indentation was a little bit off, so I got given also another job to take care of the largest database in the bank, and it was Oracle. So I did dabble in what we call a database engineer. So I did, lots of engineering of our database, archiving, moving data, file archiving, and all that kind of stuff. So quite kind of deep technical. And then 2000, and that was 2005, and then 2010, I was asked to step away from delivery work to do to help set up a team called Platform Services that deal largely on automating, and that was before DevOps. So we didn't have DevOps then, but we just know that there's a lot of manual processes, and I was quite good at automating things just because I was lazy. I didn't want to do one thing twice, so I normally, when I was given a job, I just automate them. So I was given a job to start up a team to automate the process. Now we call CI/CD and DevOps. So I did that quite early on. And then 2015, I was selected to be one of the chairperson for Credit Suisse Transformation Program. Just because of my background, done a lot, did a lot of DevOps Agile things. So I was selected to be the transformation chairperson. Credit Suisse had 15,000 employees and thousands of applications, right? So that's kind of where I learned a lot about different type of teams, different type of application, and how you customize and transform each of them using all of the best practices out there, right? But not so rigidly following them. Like we don't read about SAFe and just apply them religiously. What I tell my team is, please do read all the book, understand all the methodology deeply, but before you start your work, just throw them away and go in, ask the question, what is the problem? Where's the constraint? And then start there. So that's kind of largely how I guess encourage people in the transformation program to work, but we also have a structured transformation program now in KBTG as well, now that I'm working with KBTG, moving from Credit Suisse. So we have a core team of about 100 people, expert in their own field. We have Agile expert, we have DevOps expert, we have Java, Go, and all those experts come together, build the pipeline, parachute it into the team, really listening to them and see where their bottlenecks and constraints and the problems are, and then just get them to where we think they should be as fast as possible. Oh yeah, we do. Right now, in KBTG, we have 500 applications, right? So we have 200 of our critical application that we need to transform first. So within 200 applications, we have a heat map that we go in and assess them, because all of the 200 applications will not need the same thing at the same time. Some just need Agile coach to go in and help them set up the board and learn how to do Scrum. Some already have that and they want to shift left testing, so they need to do test automation. Some just need CI/CD and DevSecOps. So we have a heat map of all of the 200 applications. We know where they are, and we can plan with the team according to their bandwidth and their maturity, who from the core team we parachute in to help them get from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, 3 to 4. That's what we do. But we do that actually, we agile coach, right? So we do that on a board. We have a board that, track all of that and make sure that, we get everybody to the end. No, I was in Credit Suisse, London. Now I can work for KBTG. Yeah, I think I'm Thai, right? So I'm Thai. But I lived half my life in London. So the first 6 months was a little bit whoa. But yeah, after that, and this is actually why I came back as well, because when I was working in UK and in Europe, working with American, because Credit Suisse have a branch globally, so I have colleagues in America, Europe, Switzerland, Poland, Singapore, right? And the more I work in Credit Suisse, and especially working on Agile and DevOps, the more I realize that actually in Asia, and especially in Thailand, we have some of the key ingredients to adopt Agile and DevOps right here, right? So in Thailand, you heard about growth mindset in US and Europe, right? Now people are starting to get all the kids to do meditation, telling them they have to have growth mindset. I grew up in Thailand, I have to do that when I was in nursery. Then I thought, okay, maybe I'll come back, and see if I can accelerate what I've done in the West, back home as well. Yeah. So culture shock, yes, but in a good way as well.
Okay, so I'll take the bite of that graph. I mean that you show the rejection rate is 0. So yeah, I mean normally transformation of the scale of the bank is like it's going to feel like tsunamis and not just only hitting one village, but you're hitting like 200 and 500 villages at the same time, right? First, like, why do you think like there is no people answering that you feel rejected or left out with the transformation? And what is your secret sauce of making that actually like become a reality?
Well, first, right, I'm not gonna sit on my high horse and say that's always right? There's probably some element of, okay, people were afraid to say, okay, they're bored of transformation, but yeah, the 0 result was great. But I think the secret sauce that I've already kind of mentioned, a few things I think, for making sure that people are not just on board with the transformation initially, but stay with it until they see the result, which is most of the time very painful. First thing is to get them involved from day one. So like I mentioned, we ask people, what's your pain point is. We don't just go and say, hey, you do Agile, you do automation, right? We go and talk to them individually, each of the team, and say, where's your pain point? And then we start that. So that's one thing, get them involved. Second things, all of the implementation and rollout of the Agile and the DevOps and the automation need to be fun and rewarding, right? You can't just go in and say, you do this and that. You need to get them, you need to make them fun. So my team get this from me a lot. If they come back and say, oh, this team, I went to coach them in Agile, and then when I turned my back, they stopped doing Agile, right? And to me, I asked my team to then go and think about how they've done the coaching. It's not the people's fault that they don't do what you ask them to do. It's the thing that you ask, the method and the approach need to be tweaked and fixed. So if you go and build an automation and they don't buy in and they don't use it going forward, doesn't mean you need to fix your automation. It's too difficult to use, it's too difficult to adopt. So that's why I think this is what we have in Thailand, plentiful in Thailand, right? We have service minds. So we don't go and tell them like a big boss, like, I'm from transformation team, you have to do what I said. We go in and we sit with them and we said, where does it hurt? This is what you can use, but if you use it and it's still kind of not quite what you want, then tell us, we'll go and change it, and then we'll make it faster. So for example, give it a simple example, implementing a CI pipeline used to take about, I think, a month. So each team go in and sit with them and look at the process. Now we automate that, so it's take about 1 minute. So an automated CI pipeline bot that a developer can come, it click, it scan your code, and it build you the pipeline. So that's kind of how we, I guess what you said, secret sauce, right? So look at yourself. If the transformation doesn't work, don't blame the mass. Yeah.